everybody. We are back with our frogs. We are going to do some frog math and some music today. We're going to take a look at our frogs. I've got Theo here with me. We're going to start with a song. We're going to start with a counting song. And Theo has an instrument here. You want to show them how the instrument works?
So when you use the stick thing and stripe it there, it makes a frog groan.
Yeah, it croaks like a frog, right? It's a percussion instrument that croaks like a frog. You're behind the globe, Theo. Do you want to go? You want to show them your instrument? You want to go a little closer and see if everyone can see your frog instrument? Okay, so we're going to use that. Okay, and we are going to sing. I hope you guys have your fingers ready. We're going to do some finger play and some singing. We are going to sing 5 Little Speckled Frogs. And Miss Amy is not the best singer, so I want you guys to sing along so you're not just hearing my voice. And Theo's going to use the frog instrument. Why don't you come over here so you can see the frog instrument a little bit? Okay. Go ahead. We can start. Get your 5 fingers up, guys. I hope you guys can hear it. Okay.
5 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! One jumped into a pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 4 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! One jumped into a pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub.
You have 3 fingers up now.
3 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! One jumped into a pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub.
Got 2 left.
2 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! One jumped into a pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 green speckled frog. Glub, glub.
One left.
1 little speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum! One jumped into a pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are no green speckled frogs. Glub, glub.
Okay, guys. So that was our counting song. We counted backwards, right? We started with 5 speckled frogs, then we went down to 4, 3, 2, and 1. We were left with 1 speckled frog who jumped into the pond.
And then there were no more.
No more. So we're going to talk about some of the biggest, and you can stay if you want, Theo, or you can have a seat, whatever you want to do. But we're going to talk about some of the biggest and smallest frogs. You guys are not going to believe this. There are just so many different kinds of frogs in the world. But the smallest kind of frog, which has a big scientific name, but they call it, the common name is a pipsqueak frog, is as tiny as a pea. It's 7 millimeters big. So, I can't even hold it. I dropped my pea. So it's just, you want to hold it closer to the camera? Just that tiny. A whole frog is just that tiny. That's amazing, okay? And that frog lives, it does not live in New Jersey, but that frog lives in a place called Papua New Guinea. Do you guys know what this is? This is a globe, and it's a representation of our planet, the planet Earth. So we live, I'm going to show you. We live here in New Jersey. I put a little red dot there to help me. We live right there in New Jersey. And these teeny tiny pipsqueak frogs live in a place called Papua New Guinea. We are going to fly on a plane. Not really, we're just pretending. All the way over to Papua New Guinea, which is here. And that's where those teeny tiny little frogs, they're only 7 millimeters big, which is about 1/4 of an inch. If you have a ruler at home, you can look at, please don't shake the camera, babe. Okay. Are we still,
Yeah.
Is the angle still okay? Okay. So it's just 1/4 of an inch big, about that big. You can look at a ruler, but you can also use a teeny tiny pea to imagine a frog that big. Tiny. Okay, and the biggest frogs in the world, they are called Goliath frogs. They're about 13.5 inches big. I was looking around this morning, and you can do this later. Look for something that's 13.5 inches big. It's bigger than a standard ruler. So a standard ruler is 12 inches big. So you need like another 1.5 inches to find a frog that big. And what I could find was this. I don't know if any of you have this toy, but I have this toy wooden mailbox, and it is 13.5 inches big. So it would be a frog this big. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. So those frogs live in a place called Cameroon in Africa. They actually have a very small range, but they are right there. So remember, we're here in New Jersey. The big frogs live over here in Africa. And the teeny tiny baby frogs live over here in Papua New Guinea.
Which is near Australia.
Which is, north of Australia.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing, we talked about this word when we talked about what amphibians were. We talked about this word vertebrate. Do you guys remember that? We talked about a vertebrate. A vertebrate, again, is something, an animal. Whoop, I'm saying it doesn't have a lot of room here. An animal with a spine. So these teeny tiny pipsqueak frogs are the smallest animal with a spine. Just that big. So I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about all of the different frogs we can see here in New Jersey. Let's remember where New Jersey is on our globe. We're going to come around here. This is our country, the United States, and we live on the East Coast in New Jersey, and we have lots of frogs here. Now, we don't have any quite as small as the pipsqueak frog, but the smallest frog in New Jersey is called the northern cricket frog. I've got a picture for you there.
Is it as big as the picture in the...
So yes, these pictures are to scale. So if you have a piece of plain, regular 8x11 printer paper, that's how big the cricket frog is. It is 5/8 of an inch big, which is just about 1/2 inch. You can also look at that on a ruler.
So it's like two peas.
It's like 2 peas put together, 1/2 inch big. That's the smallest frog in New Jersey, and they live all over the state of New Jersey, the northern cricket frog. And the biggest frog we have in New Jersey is as big as I'm showing it here on this piece of paper. It's the American bullfrog, which also lives all over the state of New Jersey. And look how big this frog is compared to this teeny tiny little frog, right? That's how big. You could see these frogs out in New Jersey if you're looking for frogs. A super duper big American bullfrog or a teeny tiny northern cricket frog. So that's some fun today. See if you can find something in your house that's only 1/2 inch big, and see if you can find something that's 6 inches big. You could also look around and see if you can find something 7 millimeters big, as tiny as a pea, or something as big and giant as this mailbox or the Goliath frog, which is 13.5 inches big. Okay, we're going to take a closer look at how our frogs are doing today. Do you want to feed them, Theo?
Sure. I've never seen a frog this small, but I've never seen a frog this big.
Yeah, so Theo's got to keep looking. He says he hasn't seen a frog that tiny or one that big. And they are here in New Jersey.
This is their food, right?
So he is going to give,
Adult frog.
you're going to start with the biggest frog. He's going to give the
Adult.
adult frog down here. Just, you know what? Actually, Theo, just give this guy one tiny little nugget. So you guys, you see how his water is pretty cloudy? That's okay. It's okay for their water to get cloudy. And you do want their water to be a little cloudy. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get a better view, and then you can put the food in. It's okay. So you do want their water to be a little cloudy. But when it starts getting too cloudy, it means they're not eating all of the food in their tank. So we're going to scale him back to just like one nugget because we've been giving him 2 a day. Whoops. Did his food hit him? So here is this guy.
Sinks down and hits him.
This must be Optimus Prime. I'm looking up at our name chart. Say good morning, Optimus Prime. Hello. Oh, he's swimming.
Swimming around. Could give him some of this too.
Hold on. Yeah, you can.
Gave him a little earlier, so let's do a different frog. Let's do this one.
Hold on. I'm going to let the kids look at him, and then we'll move down the line, okay? So there he is eating some stuff off the bottom of his tank. Oh, he's actually clapping his hands, so I think there's still some clapping powder in there.
Yeah, he didn't take all of it.
Okay.
Do I give?
Hold on. We'll get to the next frog next. Yeah, so that in our next, so this is Optimus Prime, our oldest frog. We'll go to the next tank now.
What does he get?
He can get 2. See, I don't know if you guys can see already. His water is much more clear, so he's clearly eating more of what gets put in his tank. This is Bumblebee, our second oldest frog.
He's just not as hungry as the other. Or maybe he's not as hungry as the
Maybe. We did change their water last week. Do you want to give Bumblebee a little of the clapping powder so they can see him clap?
Takes a little bit for clap sometimes because if that one's clapping. Just swing around clapping.
Tiny little bit of that. Let's see.
It's funny how it stays at the top and then when it breaks up and falls to the bottom.
He might have to swim over there to get it. So this is our second oldest frog. He is doing well in there. He's moving his hands a little bit. So next, guys, we're going to move over to the tank that has our froglet. You are not going to believe how much our froglet has changed because our froglet, let's come over here. So Theo just said he has no tail anymore. He has a teeny tiny bit of a tail left, but it is almost all gone. So here he is just hanging out. Can you see the tiny, tiny, tiny little nub of a tail on him yet? So Theo just asked if he gets food. So what they say about the froglets is that they are getting their food from their tail until their tail gets to be about 1/8 of an inch long, and then they need adult frog food. So I am looking at him super close, and I think he is ready for some adult frog food. So you can give him 2 pellets. And we're going to start giving him some food. So we are looking at our froglet, but he is pretty close to being a full-fledged frog.
Do we give this to that?
Just a minute, okay? Because I'm going to let everybody take a look at the frogs, and then we'll move down to the next one.
He's not going back legs, is he? I mean front legs.
It's hard to get it in focus a little bit when they float in the water, but there you go, guys. You can see. Look at his long toes.
Swimming around. Oh, he's clapping. Look, he's clapping.
Oh, the other one is clapping? Yeah, back over here, this guy's clapping a little.
Yes. Sometimes they clap even if we don't give them the clapping.
So here's our, back to our froglet. Okay. And we have our youngest guy, our tadpole over here. Let's take a good look at him. So I'm seeing back legs.
I don't see any front legs.
Yeah, does anybody see any front legs coming yet? I'm going to turn his tank around so you can see him a little better.
Oh, he's swimming around.
There he is. And he is still definitely very much like a tadpole. Are you seeing any front legs yet? I am not seeing his front legs yet. We're going to have to keep watching him. Did you give him a little tadpole food yet, Theo? You can give him, yeah, he gets stage 1 tadpole food. Sorry if my camera's shaky. I'm trying to get you in here at an angle where you can see him.
I don't need stage 1 anymore, but
It's stage 1 food. That's what the tadpoles,
stage
yeah.
2.
Yeah, they don't have different food for every specific stage of development. It's stage 1 tadpole food.
It looks like sand.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
You can see him. Tail is still very long. Whoa, he is pretty cool looking. Let's see. If I can get you a better angle here. Okay, the frogs are all a little more active now, swimming around. They got some food. Oh, he's swimming to the back. Here he comes. So we've got Optimus Prime in here. Go back over them again. I didn't say all their names. We have got Bumblebee over here. The little froglet, almost frog, is Swishy. Hey, Swishy. Want to swish a little? There he goes. And the one that is still a tadpole yet is Bombin. They do seem to like to hang out in the corners of their tanks. Here he is. See how feathery his tail is, how fast he can swim. That's pretty cool. Okay. And Miss Amy is going to read a story today. And it's going to connect into our math theme today, but it's not going to be obvious. I'll tell you how it connects in at the end after I read it. So, put all their tanks back. Let me set the camera up. Sometimes it's hard to tell if I'm twisting the right way to get the camera to hold in there. I need it looser instead of tighter. Okay. We look really out of focus here, right? Why is that? There we go. Okay, Miss Amy's gonna get her book and read you guys a story. This book is called Jump, Frog, Jump. Okay? By Robert Callan. This is the fly that climbed out of the water. This is the frog that was under the fly that climbed out of the water? How did the frog catch the fly? Jump, frog, jump. He caught him. This is the fish that swam after the frog that was under the fly that climbed out of the water. How did the frog get away? Jump, frog, jump. This is the snake that dropped from a branch and swallowed the fish that swam after the frog that was under the fly that climbed out of the water. How did the frog get away? Jump, frog, jump. This is the turtle that slid into the pond and ate the snake that dropped from a branch and swallowed the fish that swam after the frog that was under the fly that climbed out of the water. How did the frog get away? Jump, frog, jump. This is the net that wrapped around the turtle that slid into the pond and ate the snake that dropped from a branch and swallowed the fish and swam after the frog that was under the fly that climbed out of the water. How did the frog get away? Jump, frog, jump. These are the kids who picked up the net that wrapped around the turtle that slid into the pond and ate the snake that dropped from a branch and swallowed the fish that swam after the frog that was under the fly and climbed out of the water. How did the frog get away? Jump, frog, jump. Frogs are slippery and jumpy. This is the basket put over the frog by the kids who picked up the net that wrapped around the turtle that slid into the pond and ate the snake that dropped from a branch and swallowed the fish that swam after the frog that was under the fly that climbed out of the water. How did the frog get away? Shh. Do you see this boy over here? The frog's under the basket. How do you think he gets away? Jump, frog, jump. He let him go so he could go back into the water. So I wanted to read this story today, guys, because our little frogs, I was going to show you on the map too. Our little frogs that we are raising, that we're watching go through metamorphosis, they don't live in New Jersey either. They live in a tropical part of South America, which I'm showing you on the globe here. So again, New Jersey is up here. They live in tropical South America here, and they live in sub-Saharan Africa. There's another blue dot over here. That's where the frogs that we're raising, that's where they would normally live. These were raised in Florida for educational purposes, so we didn't have to go to South America or Africa to get them. They were mailed to Miss Amy so that we could watch them. But I wanted to read you this book today, Jump, Frog, Jump, because our frogs can jump 10 times the length of their body. That is pretty awesome. Some frogs can jump even further. There are some frogs that can jump up to 20 times the length of their body, which is kind of crazy to think about. Our frogs, if I were to let them out, they could jump 10 times the length of their body. So you guys, it's a beautiful day out today. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful week. I think a really fun thing to try would be to measure how tall you are. You can do that with a ruler or a tape measure. Or you could just lay down on the ground and mark where your feet are and mark where the top of your head is. And then go 10 times. So if I were to measure Theo, just say he's not 3 feet tall, but say he was 3 feet, just, you don't have to correct me, it's okay. So he says he's more like 4 feet. Okay, so say Theo is 4 feet tall. So I would measure him, and then I would measure a line 40 feet long to see if he were a frog, how far he could jump. And then we're gonna do this later. And then he's gonna jump and see how far he can go. But you could also just do this with, if you don't wanna measure yourself, you could do it with a piece of chalk, mark where your feet are and your head is, but then you would have to lay down and do that 10 times. And then I want you to start at the start line and jump as far as you can. Can you jump 1 body length? Can you jump 2, maybe 3? I don't know if any of you out there can jump 10 of your body lengths like a frog, but let me know how far you can get. I want to see how awesome you can jump.
If I were to jump like one
So-
of those frogs, I would jump 40 feet.
Oh, yeah. So Theo thinks if he were a frog, maybe he could jump 40 feet. But we're going to take it outside to the sidewalk later and see how far he really can jump. And I would love it if you guys could do that too. So I'm going to zoom you in on our frogs so you can watch them a little bit yet. See how they're all doing. I'm going to have to lower this. So we can come in here. Sorry, it gets a little shaky when I do this. And you guys can watch our frogs for a few minutes, see how they're doing. Can I move them closer for you? Oop, he's swimming. Okay, oh, I don't have them all in there now. Keep trying to get them. Okay. There are the frogs. guys. Thanks for joining us for our Fun with Frogs again today. We are going to be back at the end of the week with another video.